Hey everybody, welcome into Northwoods TCG. That's right, we're going to be talking about what can happen to you with the Pokemon addiction. Now guys, I don't do this video very often, but as we know, Phantasmal Flames was released, so if you did get your opportunities, congratulations on that. The ETBs did come out, the booster boxes and the 6-pack bundles all were released on Pokemon Center now as of Monday. So hopefully you guys had some opportunity to get in on those. I hope you did. Hopefully you got your collection pieces if you were looking for them. So congratulations if you did. But today I want to be talking a little bit more serious note, some things that I know that are happening in the Pokemon TCG that I really do feel needs to be discussed every once in a while. And I try and do this like once a year here on Northwoods TCG, and this year is going to be no different. And that is going to be talking about Pokemon addiction that can lead you to ruin if you're not careful. Now, when we're talking about Pokemon investing, and when we talk about things that are going on in the Pokemon TCG, what you should be buying, how you should be buying, how you should be selling, and what you should be looking at selling, I do want to be 100% clear when we're talking about those things that you need to be financially responsible while doing so. Got to remember, at the end of the day, this is a hobby, this is a collectible, this is not a for sure thing. This may end at any point in time, and knowing those things can be very, very good to know that this is going to happen so that you can prepare for it. Or number two, that you don't put yourself into a bad position in your financial future. So today we're going to kind of break that down. What are some examples of that? What you should be looking at, and how are some proper techniques that you can be doing here in the Pokemon TCG to keep you safe with investment, especially while things are changing. Now, if you're trying to do short-term flipping, then this is really going to pertain to you fairly heavily, is the fact that it can change at any time, right? So if you're planning on buying something today and flipping it on a website, or doing a rip and ship, or going to TCG Player, getting maximum dollar for that particular product, just keep in the back of your mind that you're doing all of this, everything that you're doing, whether it's long-term, short-term, flipping, I don't care what you're doing. You need to be doing it with expendable money. I know some people really don't understand what expendable money is, but expendable money is literally money that you can afford to lose. If you can't afford to lose your money, don't go and buy Pokemon products. If you're having to make the decision to pay rent, to go out and buy food, if you're going to go do those things, those are the things that we are going to have to be watching when we're talking about things in the Pokemon TCG. You don't want to go out and spend your rent hoping that you can get that flip or that quick sale to be able to get your rent money back to pay the rent, right? Just pay your bills. At the end of the day, it's a hobby, it's a collection, and the markets could change. You could go and buy all this stuff, go buy Journey Together by the truckloads, and yes, Journey Together, if you bought it at MSRP, you might have a quick flip on it. But in the long term, it could always change, and it could go down below MSRP. And that has happened several times in the history of the Pokemon TCG. So just keep that in mind when you're trying to make decisions on these things and how you're going to do this, that you're being cautious with your money and being sure that you're doing this. Now, I'm gonna touch one thing here because I'm seeing it in the chat. And welcome on Blitzkrieg, Casper. Eldaro, thank you for being in here as well. Yes, Sam's Club is going live. We will be cutting off here about 5 minutes to 10 regardless, because I do want to give everybody an opportunity to get Prismatic. The Tyranitar Lucario tin or boxes are going live at Sam's Club. Further note, you must be a member this time before it opens. So if you try to get in and do it when you're not a member already, it says must be member prior to opening. So if it comes live and the queue goes up and everything starts to shift on there and you are not already a member, you will not be able to purchase these boxes. So don't go in thinking you're going to buy the membership and buy the product at the same time. At least they changed that from the wording on before. So how much will they be? I believe that they were, quote me if I'm wrong, but $54.99, I believe. They might have been maybe they were $64.99. They're right around there. They're actually very reasonable for the price of Prismatic Evolutions. So if you are looking for Prismatic Evolutions to open, have fun with. Not that these boxes have been great from what I've seen for opening, but if you are looking at a Prismatic opportunity, that's a good one to get into, good pricing. And with it being a membership club, a little bit of a reduction with the amount of people going into it. Hey, ELO, thank you for jumping in. I need to pump the brakes on purchases, time to sell, of some products to focus on booster boxes. Yeah, and that's the thing is too, is I just want people to understand that when we're sitting here talking about Pokemon, it can be addicting. The rush of finding products, especially in this kind of market, walking into Walmart and seeing a large quantity of product can get your excitement, get that blood flowing. And sometimes you want to go and purchase large quantities of that particular product. And sometimes you overspend thinking, hey, I can flip this really quickly. But just keep in mind that if you're doing that kind of mentality and things, it could get you in trouble. And I don't want to see anybody getting in trouble because they think they're getting good deals right now at Walmart. I want people to make reasonable decisions that are good for them and will be better for them futuristically. Expendable money is number one. Now, I sit here and talk a lot on the channel about purchasing and what I'm purchasing and things like that. But the one thing I do not put out there a lot of times is the fact that I don't have a lot of costs except for just normal like family expenses, such as food, paying for our cell phone bills, paying for our different types of streaming services. I have just our normal property taxes and things like that are all planned throughout the year. But my house has been paid off for at least 4 years now. I don't have a vehicle loan right now. Our vehicle is paid off. Yeah, it's an older vehicle, but I don't like vehicle loans. And we put money away every single month in order to be able to purchase or almost purchase a new vehicle with the intention that I don't like loans. I do not like having loans. I do not like having debt. I don't have any credit cards currently underneath me. I use one credit card for points, and that's something you can do. Absolutely great way to use assets. So I have like the PayPal 3% off of every purchase. Well, why wouldn't I use the 3% off of any purchase and take advantage of getting 3% back on my money? But I pay it off immediately. I don't sit there and let these debts hold, because credit card debt is one of the most worst. Absolutely unsubstantiated debt is the worst to have, because even myself with having a high credit score, I'm still paying roughly, it's still about 24.99%. So even myself with a good credit score has still got about a 25% interest rate. I'm sure there's someone that's got like the champion of credit scores and it's probably maybe lower than that. But in general, it's around 29.99% is the average right now. So unsubstantiated debt using credit cards, definitely not a good plan. One thing that I would really think that you need to be discussing or looking at futuristically is, can I lose this money? If this were to go to zero today and I lost all this money, would I be okay? The other thing is too, is that I don't stress enough here, and I do once a year. Once again, this is like my once a year rant. I want people to be safe, especially with the new era of Pokemon coming up. It's a good time to refresh that. ME1 releasing next week on Friday, so we are coming up into a new set, a new era of Pokemon TCG. Great time to go over this one more time, because things can shift, things can change right now. A lot of things can be moving in different moving parts when it comes down to the overall market, and you have to be careful about it. And this is where expendable money is definitely a huge part of that situation. So just keep it expendable, guys. If you can afford to lose it, you do it. I don't talk about it enough. This isn't my only investment. I don't think that investing just in Pokemon and thinking that that's going to be your long-term and, like your retirement fund is not the best idea out there either. Being in a business for myself, I max out a 401k every year. I put the maximum, I think it's $5,500 into a 401k every single year, because I do believe in traditional investments. I own property. Being in a farming community and owning a farm, being part of the farm, I have property investments as well. And then on top of it, I have like crypto and Roth IRAs, and I have other market options too, market things that I'm working with as well for investments. Pokemon only makes up about 18%. I looked it up. It was about 18.2% of my overall retirement investments is in Pokemon. So generally speaking, I don't have a majority of my stake in Pokemon. I think that that's not as smart as some people that make it sound like it's a great investment. Yes, in historical fashion, in the history of the Pokemon TCG, if you held on to a booster box for 25 years and you look at base set and how it's performed, yeah, you could do very well. If you're holding the right cards in 25, 30 years, yeah, you might do well. But I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket. I truly do believe that traditional investments have their place. I have gold and silver investments, crypto investments, I have property investments, and I have Pokemon investment, TCG investments, not just Pokemon, but primarily Pokemon TCG investments. And I think that they're all substantiated. They all have opportunities. Some grow better than others. Some have slow growth periods while others do really, really well. Being diversified in your investments are definitely a better way to go when it comes down to your investment fields. Not putting all your eggs in one basket and hoping that Pokemon's going to be your retirement fund. Yes, historically, it's worked out. I can't say that that hasn't. Is it something that I would suggest thinking that it's always going to work out? No, I always think that there's other opportunities for failure in everything that's out there. Anything is opted to fail. When it comes down to your normal standard investments such as companies, you got to think that how many companies would have to fail in order for you to lose all of your investments and your standard traditional investments. Pokemon is one company. If Pokemon closes down next month, you're going to have situations where maybe you can have like the dead TCG growth for a while. You might have opportunity, but the fact of the matter is that if you're younger in your 20s, is that opportunity cost going, or is that opportunity going to continue to move forward and grow and have that dead TCG continue to give you the growth that you're looking for? That's the real question that you're looking at if that were to occur. Now, is there opportunities right now in this market currently to continue to see growth? Yes. I think overall that we're seeing really good growth. I think a lot of the Scarlet and Violet stuff is going to get very limited reprint. I don't think that reprints are dead in the Scarlet and Violet era just because we shifted gears and moved into ME. I still think that the last sets of the Scarlet and Violet era are still in potential reprints. There's definitely opportunity to do so. Do I think that the first year, the first block of Scarlet and Violet is probably done now? Yes, we've gone through Worlds. There's really no point to be reprinting that stuff. Yes, some of those decks are still playable. The Gardevoir deck is still there. The Charizard deck now gets a resurgence every now and then with some tweaking and comes back. But in general, we have moved past those particular decks, and we are now moving into the newer area of the decks, especially with the Megas coming back. That's going to put a new dynamic into the decks to see how they're going to perform overall. So, once again, older that they are, the Sword and Shield stuff we know is dead. We're not getting any reprints of Sword and Shield at this point in time. If you're looking at the first few sets of it, it's definitely going to be Scarlet and Violet base set, Paldea Evolved, Obsidian Flames going into 151, Paradox Rift, and I believe Paldea Evolve or Paldean Fates is also in that list. Don't quote me on that. Paldean Fates might go either way. That might still be in the current rotation, but I haven't looked at the Paldean Fates. I should have before this live, and I didn't even think about them. But I do know everything from Paradox Rift now is going out of rotation as of probably April of 2026. Yes, it's still playable at this point in time, but by the time we get to Worlds again, it will be out of play. They're not going to probably go back and spend time printing those particular sets. They're going to move forward. We may still see reprints of like Temporal Forces on forward. Probably more in the Destin's Rivals, Journey Together, and Surging Sparks area would be my most likely areas if you're looking at investing in the Pokemon right now, to be watching for reprints in those areas to potentially get into it and get into those particular TCGs when they get reprints. There's opportunity when that happens to see some drop, but you got to be quick because the ones that we have seen, like Surging Sparks, we've seen booster box reprints and that come through. The dip doesn't take very long to recover right now with the current demand in the market. Now, ME1 and 2 might change that feeling, but I definitely think that there's going to be a bigger demand for the mega sets than some people are saying. I think the demand is going to stay pretty consistent at this point in time. Megas are going to do a little bit better than they did in XY. I don't think that there's going to be a big dip in Megas just because of the fact that Megas are back and they didn't do well in XY. I think this may be a push for the XY Megas to do better just because of the fact that they'll be more light on those particular sets and those particular products. The only thing that's changed from the XY Megas to today when you're looking at your investments and you're talking about investments, the big change that's coming up right now currently is that Megas have been used for a long time in Pokemon Go. So people that are playing Pokemon Go, playing a lot of the different Pokemon sets and the Pokemon games now, have seen Megas. Megas are more familiar than they were in the XY era, and I think that that's going to be a big help for them overall when it comes down to their longevity and their likelihood to be accepted better than they were in the XY era, because they definitely weren't as strong in the XY era. So I just want people to hear it though, and one more time, I'm just going to reiterate this one more time. Guys, use expendable money when you're purchasing stuff in the Pokemon TCG. Unless you're able to get things at rock bottom prices through like a distributor or through a source that you know you're getting the best price possible, and you minimize that risk as much as possible, then definitely you'll probably be okay, especially even in the short term. But the fact of the matter is that we've seen it when we went from Sword and Shield into Scarlet and Violet. We saw a huge dip in this market, and people were hurt. People were not able to turn things. People weren't able to go to Walmart and buy a large quantity of Scarlet and Violet and be able to flip that immediately. It took time. It wasn't immediate. It was one of those things that took a little bit of time for that to gain traction. Could we see that in mega sets? Yes. I think Phantasmal Flames being right at the beginning is definitely going to help and keep that drive going. Do I think that the megas are going to cause a drop in the market? No, I think the market's going to continue to do well. The only thing that's really going to change the market at this point in time is the amount of prints that we're seeing of these particular sets and how Pokemon continues to roll these out. The fact that we're seeing like ME1 now, the frustration is real, guys. And I know Danny Phantom just did a video. I haven't even watched it yet at this point in time, but we're talking about the frustrations in the markets. And right now, the ME1 release is just nothing but frustration. I still, at this point in time, they just changed my order again this week. So I have no idea. I don't even want to tell people what I might be getting because I thought I was getting some booster boxes. I thought I was getting my case of ETBs. I thought I was getting a case of sleeve blisters, and now all of a sudden they removed the sleeve blisters. They removed the booster boxes. Now I got ETBs, and now I got 3-pack blisters and a check lane blister. It's weird. It's just a real flux right now, and the frustration's real. We don't know what we're getting, and with the set release the way it's going right now, we do know it's already delayed a little bit there's going to be 2 waves of release now. And it's just kind of a mess right now. So hopefully it'll be straightened out by next week because we should be getting shipping confirmations. I should be getting shipping confirmations on Monday. I typically get the product on Thursday or Friday Friday afternoon. Usually right on release day I get that product. They time it pretty well where I do get my product on time for these particular products. I have gotten it on Saturday, guys, just FYI. So that's something that we can be looking at potentially being delayed, but a day, that's the worst case scenario for me. But once again, it's frustrating, and the frustration can be real, and the frustration can cause a false market hype too. Lack of product on that first wave could definitely get people going. Higher amounts of product on the second wave might really confuse people and confuse the market and cause kind of a lull. And then getting that reprint, that booster box reprint in November, at the end of November as well, is definitely going to throw. So we're pretty much getting 3 waves of ME1 right off the bat. So it's really, really confusing. It's frustrating. It's really weird the way they're doing this right now and how this is all laying out. So it's really going to be interesting to see how all of this pans out here when the release happens next week. Confirmation emails should be going out this weekend. I should be getting them this weekend, and we'll know what we're getting for sure, or at least have a good idea what we're getting and what will be coming in the boxes when they're shipped here and delivered to the door come next Thursday or the following Thursday or Friday. So overall, we'll see what happens. It's going to be really interesting. This is kind of a weird one when it comes down to release. It's a weird one when it comes down to just the way Pokemon's rolling into the set. And overall, I think that there's new print companies and things involved too, which are really throwing some little bit of a wrenches into the works right now. So I think they're going to work through it. I think we'll be okay. ME2 or Phantasmal Flames is definitely going to be, I think it's going to be a little bit more coordinated. But how much more coordinated is yet to be seen. Pokemon just seems to have no coordination at this point in time. But overall, guys, be careful. Just make sure that you understand right now that you're using expendable money. Don't be putting away a lot of money that you think is going to, or putting in money that you need to be able to pay bills. Because at any point in time, this market could shift. We could be getting reprints of Surging Sparks. Could get reprints of Destin's Rivals, Journey Together, and Black and White, all of which Prismatic, even as we've been seeing, has been getting continuously printed. That could happen to any of the other sets right now, especially the newer sets that are playable, that there's a demand in the market currently for them, and that there's actually the card game playing factor that's currently moving forward too. As the megas roll out, we're going to see what's going to change in the tournament side of things, which could also dictate what sets might get reprints, because a lot of times the tournament side can dictate the reprints a lot more than the actual market and demand for a particular set. So if Prismatic's not playable any longer, they might move. A lot of people don't realize there are a lot of playable cards in Prismatic right now for the Dragapult deck and also for the Gardevoir deck too. There are some playable cards that are coming out of Prismatic that people want as well. So there's kind of a double-edged sword when it comes down to Prismatic. Also, A-Spec cards, really, really popular right now. Some of the big A-Spec cards that are out there are like Neo Energy. What's the other one? There's another one that's out there too. Secret Chest or Secret Box. That's another one that's really popular. We're seeing Cape, or the Cape one doing really, really well also. So there are some very playable sets that are still out there from like Temporal Forces forward that are still very usable, very playable, and will be playable into the next worlds moving forward. So those are also factors that you got to consider when we're looking at the set size we're moving forward. What might get reprints, what won't get reprints, and that will kind of dictate that as well and give a little bit more dictation on which ones might be. So if you want to know what sets might be getting reprints or have a high probability of reprints, historically, just go look at like Limitless TCG. I'm not sponsored. This isn't a sponsorship in any way, shape, or form. Go to Limitless TCG. You can kind of break down by the current tournaments and see what the decks were that were used at the last tournaments, and that way you can see what sets those come from. And by doing so, you can kind of get a feel for what sets players are really, really digging into to be able to get cards. And which sets those are can really dictate which sets are going to be getting reprints as well. So heavily played, a lot of cards coming from a particular set are definitely going to dictate a reprint on that set, so that there's more cards available for deck building and for the players out there in the Pokemon TCG. So that being said, I just wanted to touch base with you. Pokemon addiction is a real thing. I don't want to sit there and downplay it and say, you know, it's over. It's not really that big. It doesn't really happen that often. It's huge, guys. I mean, it's a really big issue that we see people really getting out of whack with how much they're spending. Sometimes you get stuck in that hype and that FOMO. You get addicted to the game. It's just like gambling. You start getting addicted to opening packs, trying to get that one hit card, trying to get that next hit. There's next pack, guys. The next pack's going to have a hit. Let's do it. And then you open that next pack, and that next pack doesn't have a hit. And then it's like, okay, I can do the next one. Or maybe the next two. I'll buy two more. And that addiction can really occur as well. And if you're not using expendable money, it's no different than gambling. It could lead you down a road and where you just can't recover from it, and you put yourself in the very bad financial situations. And I don't want to see anybody that follows this channel get into those situations. I want everybody that follows this channel to take advice and be able to use it, but use it wisely in order to be successful without putting themselves in some detriment where they can be successful. If I talk to you a year down the road or 2 years down the road, yeah, these sets were very successful. We've had some very good outturn on these. Hey, I didn't put myself in a bad spot, and when I needed to sell some of the stuff, it was liquid. We could sell it quickly and be able to make money on that and be able to pay off whatever may have came up. Because remember, build a savings account too, guys. One last thing I did not talk about is build a savings account. Always keeping a little bit of money, liquid cash in hand is always a good thing to do, and always really, really a good piece of advice that I've always gotten is that even if it's a couple months worth of your income, at least 3 months, but you should be building for 6 months. 6 months of your income should be in a savings account, liquid cash that you can pull and use at any point in time. All right, guys, like I said, I just wanted to touch base on you. I always like doing that once a year. I know sometimes it's a little repetitive because I do it once a year for the people that have been with me for a long period of time. But I definitely think that it's important that with new people continually coming in, joining the channel, being in the hobby, it's good for other people that are going to watch this later to get involved and hear some of the things, just a reminder, a refresher of all the stuff that might be happening in the market when it comes down to that. All right, so we're going to go into the chat. Like I said, thank you so much, Blitzkrieg, for being in here. Dario, thank you so much for being in here as well. Casper joining us. We have Yellow in here. Market Scraper, we have him in here as well. Thank you for joining. Antonio, welcome on in. Green Moji Dude, thank you so much for being in here. See a small crew right now, but we'll see how it goes as we get talking about actual Pokemon stuff, because sometimes people don't want to hear the other stuff, so we're just going to get right into the Pokemon stuff. Hey, yo, hey, friend, I ain't got nothing. What do you mean I ain't got nothing? I'm flipping out. Casper, how sure is the prismatic drop today? 100%. There is no question on that, Casper. It's at 10 p.m. Eastern time tonight, or 10 p.m. Central time tonight, 8 p.m. Central or Pacific. So if you are looking for that, we are going to end the live regardless. Like the last time, I want to give everybody a chance to get off the phones, get into Sam's Club, be loaded up, ready to rock and roll when that drop happens. I want everybody to get the best chance that they can. That is 100% happening. It's posted on there. If you join the Discord, the link is in the Discord general chat right now, so you guys can jump on, hit that link, and it'll take you right to Sam's Club, to the spot. And there's also the link, I believe, for the membership as well. So if you don't have a Sam's Club membership, be sure you get that before 10 o'clock, because it does state in there, must be member prior to release. So if they release that product and you are not a member, you are not going to be able to get that, buy that product tonight. You're going to have to miss out on it. So if you're considering it and looking at doing it, make sure that you've got your membership in place prior to jumping in onto that stream or jumping in to purchase that. Last but not least, I don't know if you've purchased before, if you will be able to. The last release, if you had purchased before, so my wife and I both have an account before purchasing Pokemon stuff and online, and so what we did find out is that she had been able to purchase before. I was not able to purchase that one first time it released. The second time I was able to purchase, she was not able to purchase. It kept telling her that that's already been shipped to her address. So it did not allow her to purchase twice. Are they going to do that on the third release? I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. I'm definitely going to try. I think it's definitely worth the try to see if it'll get through, but there's no guarantees that if you've already been able to purchase that you'll be able to get in on that and get that opportunity again. So we'll see what Sam's Club does. They're trying to spread it out a little bit on that online, so they might not allow you to purchase if you've already gotten 2, which is 2 is going to be the quantity limit as well. That is stated on the Sam's Club site. Let's see here. Moving on down, yeah, Sam's Club, saw people line up, so I guess it was true. Yes, I've got all links on Discord, and it is for sure happening. How much will they be? I can look real quick, but like I said before, I believe, and I'm almost 100% sure that, I'm going to take a look here, but it's probably on the Discord right now, so if I hit the link on the Discord, it should take me to the Sam's Club site, and it should give me the link for that so that I can, let you know for sure. Okay, so, but I believe it's 54. I'm not going to go through it right now. The link's on Discord, so that way if you want to jump in on it, you can get in on it. But I believe they're $54.99 or $52.99 is what they were before. $60. Okay, he's saying $59.99. I don't remember. It doesn't really matter. It's still way under market price per pack. So if you are looking for a great low cost way to open up packs for Prismatic, not really a question on that part. Yellow, I need to pump the brakes on purchases. Time to sell. Yeah, it might, now's a good time to sell as well. So if you've been holding on to stuff for a long period of time, along opportunities that have been out there right now, you know, and been holding on to them, got them at really good pricing, now is a really good time to see that kind of come through and use that as potentially more buying power as well. So that way you can take them opportunities to maybe roll it into something new. As ME sets are rolling out right now, some things may really adjust, change, and some things may become available that weren't available here recently. So definitely use that sales right now of the high-end stuff, and then maybe shift into, like you said, more of those more secure investments I want to call. Something like booster boxes, the ETBs, six-pack bundles, more of those, especially if you're holding on to like a lot of like collection boxes, EX boxes, those kind of things are definitely sometimes better to get out of and take advantage by moving into something a little bit more secure that has done well, like booster boxes, just because lack of booster box reprint has definitely been a real thing. I just saw someone put up here $59.99, so thought they were around 56. So yeah, $59.99 is what Cornell just said on the chat as well, just so you guys are aware of that when you guys are coming in and looking at that. Let's see here. Moving on down, Antonio already went through. Antonio, I've been in 2 dead TCGs now. Did you join MetaZoo as one of them? Well, yeah, man, MetaZoo's is MetaZoo coming back? I was gonna look. I don't know. Prismatic ETBs running again. Well, yeah, they're going to continue to keep running. I'm sure we're gonna see more Prismatic product, guys. I know some people are like, oh, this is gonna be every time that they happen. There's 2 sides of the coin, right? There's a group of people that say it's never going to get reprinted again, and this is it. This is going to be the last one. And then there's a group that thinks it's going to get reprinted again. I personally think that this is not done. That's my personal feelings. I think that currently it just makes sense for them to continue to print that, just because of the fact that it's really popular, right? And it sells. It doesn't sit in warehouses. It can't sit in warehouses. So right now, he's saying it's running. Right now, it's at 115. So it jumped back up to about that 115 range now that we're through all these reprints that have currently gone through. So they are continually just going to keep moving up and keep doing that when they're moving forward. We're never not even near the end of the 2-year window. No, not even close. And then people that are thinking that they're done just because it continues to get reprinted at Sam's Club, it's not. I think that's going to be. It's going to feel a lot like Shining Fates, I got a feeling, where it seems like you're going to be done and all of a sudden there's going to be another wave. You think it's going to get done and there's going to be another wave. You think it's going to be done and there's going to be another wave. I think they're just going to continue to keep pushing Prismatic for the next year, at least. Holiday season's coming too. I wouldn't be surprised if we see another Prismatic Evolutions reprint of ETBs and products coming up for the holiday season as well. Especially as we get closer to Black Friday and get close to that Christmas season, it's definitely something that has happened and probably will happen for those particular products. We got green emoji, snake, my last surging and prismatic this week. Moving on. There we go. Moving on to the bigger and better things, right, green emoji dude? Let's see here. My collection value is great, but I just missed opening packs casually. I know. That's the one thing that I do miss about it, is that I don't really want to open up my sealed product. I really don't want to open up too much product because I have the storefront. But right now, because of the lack of product, I don't want to open that and take it away from my sales side. So it's kind of, I used to be able to open up quite a bit just for fun. It's really not something that's capable of doing right now. And even going to the stores, like I'd go grocery shopping. And the problem is when you take it from a business that's an owner's draw, kind of a pain in the butt to draw product out of your business in a way, because you're almost like paying yourself. And by opening packs, you're paying yourself, which then means it becomes taxable if you're taking money out in that fashion. But when it was available at like Walmart and Target and stuff like that, it was fun just to go buy, 3 packs for each one of us. So the 4 of us, 12 packs total, 12, 15 packs. We'd all open, have some fun opening packs just because they were there. That's something that hasn't really occurred in a little bit, just because of the fact that this is, there isn't available at the store. It's not like I can walk in the Walmart any given day and be able to buy, sleeve booster packs on the shelf, or 3-pack blisters or ETBs and just have fun. That's not something that's available right now. I'm hoping that it happens again, because kids are going to start, like we talked about before, kids will lose interest. And as kids lose interest in the hobby and the TCG, that's going to cause a situation where we're going to lose a chain in the progression of the Pokemon TCG just from that loss of interest. So we really hope we can get them back and get that product back on the shelf for the kids and for people that just nonchalantly go buy the product. That's definitely a huge way to grow the hobby. That's how I got back into it in 2019. It was on the checkout lane blister. It was sitting there right by the checkout, and my son wanted to open a couple packs. It opened a couple packs in 2019, and I went back to nostalgia, and I was back in it at that point in time. So once again, if those packs weren't available, I might not have ever come back into it in 2019. So it's definitely something that is a huge growth point that we're missing in the hobby currently. Green emoji says ditto. Blitzkrieg. Even just seeing packs was great. Yeah, just seeing any packs is great. Green emoji, if I would have started in this market, I would have been cooked. Yeah, it probably wouldn't have been the good if you weren't starting ahead of time and trying to turn this into money at this point in time. Blitzkrieg. Oh, Antonio, don't forget to drop the likes, guys. Yeah, make sure you guys, we got 24 people watching. Make sure everybody goes hits that like button real quick. Just take 1 second right now. Go hit the like button. Help out the channel. Definitely a huge thing to help out and really move things forward. Also, hanging around with us, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. It's greatly appreciated. I know we got a lot of new members in here right now. Consider doing that membership, continuing that membership, but make sure you hit the subscribe button as well and kind of keep pushing our channel up and moving forward. Let's see here, Blitzkrieg. All the new people starting just drop money left and right. They do. And a lot of them are maxing out credit cards, which is even the worst thing that they could do at this point in time. People are just literally maxing out credit cards and putting a lot of risk out there right now at this point in time, hoping that they can continue to flip the stuff and pay that credit card bill off. Or I know some people are probably just letting that credit card ride. They've built it up, they sell the stuff, they put that in the bank accounts, they still got the credit card debt, and then they start sitting there and they just pay the minimum payments on those credit cards while using the cash to try and move forward. So they're paying 29% on a loan pretty much in order to move this forward. And what happens eventually is the market does dry up. The market does slow down. Pokemon prints a ton, sets the market back, slows the market down, and then they can't pay off their credit card. And then they're sitting on a large chunk of a high interest rate credit card or a debt load at that point, or a payment at that point in time just because of that. Moving on down. Now we went through here. Blitzkrieg, I did too, but I just hit it in the downtime. And that's if you're going to jump in, it's a good time to jump in, right? When the markets are down, when there's reprints, things like that give you that opportunity. Or when the market's slow, great time to get started up. 2019 is when I started up. It was a slower time in the Pokemon TCG. It was just starting to build at that point in time. So I was able to put in some real dollars and get some really good value out of my dollars back in 2019, just before 2020, when the boom hit and I sold out a bunch of stuff, which then gave me capital to continue to move forward and then use that capital wisely to not build debt and to continue to grow in the Pokemon hobby. Blitzkrieg says $60. Green emoji says lucky. Cornell told us, yeah, those boxes coming out, so we will be done at 5 minutes to 10, just so everybody's aware. But yeah, $55.99, so $56 a piece. Jacob, thank you so much for dropping in as well. Prismatic ETBs are running. I already went over that, 115 currently. So they are moving up in value again. But once again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see multiple reprints of those ETBs. So I would be really cautious about putting any real money into those at this point in time. I still think there's going to be more hits on that. And depending on where the market state is at that point in time, if we start pushing scalpers out and we start pushing certain individuals out, if the timing's right on one of those ETB reprints, it could theoretically put the market down a little bit further than what it has been at this point in time. Just depends on how the new Mega Evolution sets perform here in the near future. That's really going to be a driving factor for that. Unimoji, glad I'm done with El Prazo. I don't like opening the packs and got all I wanted. Well, that's perfect. Had to buy mine at 115. David Chen, thank you so much for dropping in here. We're not even near the end of the 2-year window. No, we're nowhere near that point at this point in time. We got plenty of time for that 2-year window. I mean, we're just literally in the first 8 months of that set, which means it's going to get printed a lot. I feel that it's going to be Shining Fates 2.0, or it's going to be, as I just see here, green emoji just put underneath you, Crown Zenith 2.0. There's going to be plenty of reprints. It's going to keep coming. I know that product's going to keep coming just because of the way that they've been treating it at this point in time. It's not going to change. We're going to continue to see that. Antonio, Duel Masters, it was a copy of Magic the Gathering, but in an anime form. It's dead here in the U.S., but popular still in Japan. Yes, I have heard of Duel Masters. Some guys were actually talking about that probably about a month ago. That they actually play the Japanese version. They buy Japanese cards and build Japanese decks here in the United States just for fun. Once again, they're kind of shifting and having fun. The other TCGs are maybe dead in English, but still move on in that. You know, MetaZoo, another one. People are actually still kind of talking about MetaZoo. And there is definitely some people that are still playing it in a way and still being involved with it. So even though it's a dead TCG, the one that's pretty tough is G.I. Joe. I really haven't heard anybody talk about G.I. Joe unless they're making fun of Logan Paul. So I don't think G.I. Joe is going to make any resurgence anytime soon. Digimon was dead at one point, now back again, kind of dead again because their print schedule is absolutely stupid. You don't know when they're going to print, if they're going to print, how they're going to print. Who knows? So yeah, it's very interesting when it comes down to that. So, yeah, Digimon's kind of here, there, gone again. Who knows? Blitzkrieg says it's just people laundering their money through Pokemon. In a way, yeah, pretty much. Turning it into a business opportunity, taking their money, putting it into Pokemon, making investments, holding on to it. Not really laundering so much as, trying to just make it into a business, like myself, turn it into a business. Get rid of extra money, and that way I can have a little bit more tax deductions at the end of the year, of course. If you're business savvy and can do that, then yeah, you got to do that. You got to take the advantages when you can, especially with business and income and things like that. Pokemon gives you great opportunities to do that. Just be 100% honest. Jacob says here, I just don't know how much more of the prismatic ETBs they're willing to print. Pretty crazy times. I know there is plenty of packs available. Doesn't matter. I think that they're still going to print it. I mean, their limit is basically how fast it sells. And as fast as it sells right now, I don't think that they see any limit to printing on prismatic evolutions. We see this on certain sets. They kind of drag out and they continue to print them over and over and over and over again. We've seen that in Scarlet and Violet. We have seen that in all the way back in Sun and Moon. We've seen that in a lot of sets where they just continue to print over and over and over, and that's just going to continue to happen. That's just how it works. Is they find a set that's really popular and they're going to keep printing, especially a specialty set, because they don't have to print booster boxes. They don't have to print some of the things. They can just print ETBs and keep printing ETBs. The only thing that comes to question is, can they keep getting like the add-in products for the ETBs? Can they keep getting sleeves? Can they keep getting the dice? Can they keep getting all the, that kind of stuff? The promos are easy, but I mean, the dividers and those kind of specialty things can become the limiting factor, I think, more than the actual cards themselves at this point in time. Going on down. Antonio, Blitzkrieg, that actually happened in Japan. Yeah, that was happening. Taco, welcome on in. Same here. Son and daughter were ripping packs last summer and fall, and they pulled me in. Boom, I'm a collector again like 1999. Exactly. I mean, that's exactly how I got back into it. It's just funny because I completely dropped out in '06 and I sold everything. I got out. I was done. I wasn't going to come back. I was done with it because I have ADHD. I know how to hyperfixate, and if I get into something, as my wife says, Pokemon's a perfect example. If I hyperfixate, it's like, boom, it's everywhere. I get into it and I drive it and I keep pushing hard. This is probably the longest I've ever hyperfixated, but it keeps me in it. I love it and I enjoy it. It's changing. Everything's always moving. I have good conversations with people. I enjoy it. You know, even like 3D printing. She laughs at me because I have 3D printers. I get a bug in my butt and I hyperfixate for like a month or two on it really, really hard. And I start making really cool stuff and I really get cool things. And then I get bored and I move on. And then the printers sit for like 6 months, 7 months, and they just sit there, do nothing. And then I come back and I'll like, now I'm printing again. Jacob wanted a Master Chief suit for Halloween. So he wants a full out Master Chief suit. So I'm printing a 3D printed Master Chief, full plastic, heavy Halo 2 anniversary version of the suit. So I'm really excited to get it done. But yeah, I mean, my ADHD will take me all over the place, but Pokemon has been a good outlet for me to just consistently stay in it, which is great. I like being able to just consistently be in something, focus, and be involved. It gives me something to hyperfixate that's always changing, always something new. The markets are always changing. The likes are always changing. What's coming up is really good, really, you know, always changing and a lot of fun. And it's really interesting conversations, a lot of interesting viewpoints. And it's just fun. It's something that with ADHD I can actually really focus on, which is a good thing. I'm not going to be complaining about it in any way, shape, or form. Let's see here. So we got Hitus jumping in. Welcome on in, Hitus. If Pokemon can get down to MSRP or under consistently, we gonna see panic. And the non-experienced question is, will Pokemon ever get caught up? It's been about a year of nonstop boom. I think they're working on it currently right now. Hitus, ME1, my feelings is it was printed outside of Millennial Print Group. Just by the way, we had early releases, leaks, the issues with the printing capability, how it's getting broken up now. Europe, Middle East, and those countries are getting delays a couple weeks because of that. My feeling is that we are definitely seeing Pokemon trying to do something to shift things up and get more product out there. And I think that ME1 is a result of that happening. So I think Pokemon's working on it. I think we're going to be seeing some more reprints, especially if Pokemon's been reprinting this. They tend to let the company that gets that continue to make reprints all the way through. So whatever company might be reprinting or printing ME1 will probably continue to be able to focus on ME1. They'll probably take ME2, so they'll probably take Phantasmal Flames at Millennial, and then the next one will go to another company. And I think we'll see this back and forth, where one set gets released really early. Phantasmal Flames, they'll be really, really tight. Even leaks right now are been very, very tight. I mean, not a lot of leaking coming out, even with it not too far out at this point in time. We're only 9 weeks out from Phantasmal Flames already. So there hasn't been a lot of leaking yet at this point in time. And if we don't see leaks early, that's going to be a very good sign that, once again, that Pokemon is probably printing that one internally at the Millennial Print Group. The next set, I'm willing to bet you'll see leaks. And if you see leaks, that means that's getting printed by an external suit or external company. I think it's a really good sign that they have actually brought on a secondary company to do printing. Is it a good sign because there's leaks? No, I think it's dumb that these companies can't keep things locked down. Pokemon in Millennial Print Group seems to be able to keep things locked down wherever they print it. That's the reason. That's my basis on why I think that there's, number one, there's printing issues. They're getting into the quality and trying to get things up to standard for Pokemon, and that's causing delays and causing the issues with the printing, why we're seeing this breakup. But also the early releases are definitely a big sign to me, again, that we're going outside. So good news. We might be seeing more product here. Pokemon might be able to focus on reprints, especially the last few sets, Black and White, Journey Together, Destin's Rivals, and possibly even more Prismatic Evolutions here in the near future. Let me see here real quick. I'm anxious about the SIR in Phantasmal Flames. I think that it's the one that we've seen. I honestly do think that there's a really good chance that that is going to be what it is here in the United States. That's going to be the English, or going to be the SIR. Just because the set numbers match, everything seems to line up with where we are for the size of the set to what that is actually the card number and stuff. So I think the one that we've been seeing floating around is actually the actual SIR at this point in time. I have a really good feeling that's probably it. Could be wrong. Once again, that's just my feelings based on set number, where everything's at, because we know the set sizes and things like that. Let's see here. Going down the list here real quick. So MetaZoo got bought out by a YouTuber, but forgot the YouTuber's name. Is it the guy that was really talking the mic and all that? What the heck's his name? He's got a fitness channel too. Is that guy? I knew it got bought out. I knew that they were working on... I saw some advertisement for MetaZoo come in one of the like Instagram and stuff like that. So my guess is that they're working on doing something. G.I. Joe boomed last year in comic and action figures and certain cards. Yeah, I'm sure it would. Getting a lot of views, a lot of popularity, so that can definitely cause that to happen just because of the people seeing it all the time. Casper says they are limiting everyone to only 2 per membership. Yes, you can get 2 per membership. That's why I don't think that if we already got 2 for each one of our memberships, we probably won't be able to get any more. So if you've already gotten 2, you probably won't be able to order 2 again, because that's what it said when my wife tried to order last time. Is that you have already had 2 ordered on on this account, and they wouldn't let her check out. So yeah, I think that that's definitely might be the case. But like I said, I'm gonna try. Darn it, if they'll let me get 2 more of those, I will take 2 more of those boxes. I think they're really, really nice to have. Green Emoji said they will be dropping Prismatic at Sam's this time every year. Or next year. I think you're right. I think you'll see it as another holiday run next year. It's that much popularity. Why wouldn't you? Unless we get another set that's just vastly more popular than Prismatic, that's a specialty set, then that might change it. But I don't think so. I think Prismatic's going to be it. I think that's going to be next year's big contender at this point in time, especially with changing over into the Mega Evolution sets. I think that that's going to continue to be the primary focus for the Pokemon TCG for reprints. Yeah, that's been the rule since the first drop, pretty much. Yeah, that's been Sam's Club's rule every time. I know it's 2 per account. I just don't know if they're going to allow multiple orders now that's third drop. I don't know what they're doing, but it's worth a shot. Antonio Game Q-Bar Labs has assembled an experienced team, including former executives from the Pokemon Company and Magic the Gathering, to lead the relaunch. That's for MetaZoo now. Okay. Like I said, I've been seeing some advertisement for MetaZoo, so I kind of figured that was going to be occurring, that we were going to see a resurgence or a realiving of the MetaZoo platform. And we'll see. Hopefully they do well. Hopefully they can pull it off. And, for the MetaZoo fans out there, I definitely would like for them to be able to get their TCG back. If you do enjoy a TCG, I don't want you to lose it. It's a lot of fun. It's a way to meet with people, have fun, and gather. And if it's something that you enjoy, it makes it even better to do so. So hopefully they pull it off. It'd be really cool to see what they can pull off with the MetaZoo, nameplate, name tag, and growing that particular business. Is Mike still involved with it, or has he completely sold it and stepped out at this point in time? That'd be my only question. Blitzkrieg. Yeah, there was so much sea and sky boxes. The prices didn't boom right away. People selling those boxes only made $10 to $15 profit at the beginning. Yes, very much true. They printed a ton of those. They came in on pallets. Even at your local Sam's Club, there was pallets, and I could see them doing with the latest one with Prismatic. Because Prismatic has got too many investor bros behind it right now that will literally put themselves in debt and potentially financially ruin themselves to keep that thing from getting out. And I think that's your bigger problem with Prismatic is that I don't think there's not enough people opening it to enjoy the set. It's too expensive. Some people do open some, but in general, it's too expensive, so not too many collectors or rippers are buying Prismatic Evolutions. It's just, it's a really bad setup for the set for longevity, because when you get that much price up front, you reduce the amount of people that are able to open it up front, which means people aren't going to be willing to spend more money for it futuristically. Now, I'm not saying that that's actually going to lay out and actually work out for that, but right now, my feeling is that even myself, I haven't opened enough to even care. Most of them are out of these, you know, we've been opening a few of these. We got some surprise boxes from distribution, so that's really been the most prismatic that we've opened since release when I got 4 ETBs of it. So, in general, the ripping has been way down on it because, number one, the price got so high and out of control that it really reduced the amount of people that wanted to open it. And when you reduce the amount of population that has exposure to it, why are they going to come back to that set? Well, it's going to draw them back. Evolving Skies at least had a heyday where you could buy it at an affordable price and open Evolving Skies. A lot of people open Evolving Skies looking for that Umbreon when it was around $5 a pack. That's affordable. People are willing to pay $5 a pack to go and open it. But when you go to $10, $15, $20 to a pack right at release, it reduces the amount of exposure that people get to that particular set because they can't afford that. They're going to go and buy something else and be involved into something else rather than paying that money and going into it, which means futuristically less people may want to buy it in the future. Why would I spend money on a set I was never able to open, never really enjoyed? It's a factor that people aren't taking into consideration either right now. Casper says, I still have my Sea and Sky boxes, 30 to be exact. I have about 10 of them. I didn't keep that many, but we did rip a bunch of them here on the channel too, so we were having fun when they came out. They were a really good product, a lot of fun, really, really good hits. So once they got opened on the channel once, we kind of burned through way too many of them because the hit rates were just fantastic. A lot of fun to open. Blitzkrieg, good, but should have gotten ETBs since they are smaller. Yep. A lot less space, a lot cheaper to ship. Blitzkrieg, and better for collectors. Yeah, people like displaying them better. I mean, it's nice to have one Sea and Sky box. One downside to them is shipping them sealed is very, very expensive. Far Out Genetics, thank you so much for joining in. Good luck, everyone. Hope all of you get prismatic today. Yeah, exactly. Hopefully we do. We're getting close, guys. We're coming down to the last 4 minutes of live, so we will be kicking out here in about 5 minutes to get out, so that way you guys get a chance. Far Out Genetics, we haven't been buying anything much unless it's MSRP. Today, we got an ETB and a booster bundle from the vending machine at the grocery store. Well, congratulations. It's really, really nice when you can pull that off. The vending machines have been very much hit or miss when it comes down to them. From what I've heard from experiences, some people can get stuff. Some people say they're being hacked already, and people know how to get through them to be able to distribute more product than they're supposed to. But if you can get them at your grocery store, we don't have any of the vending machines. I think the closest one to me is like 4 hours south. So maybe I might just want to see one in person. If I go down to Collecticon in Chicago, I'll probably stop at one. Even if I don't get anything, I just want to say I've seen one in person. Hey, this Prismatic today? Yes. Sam's Club. If you're a Sam's Club member, we have the Prismatic Tyranitar Lucario boxes. Collection boxes, our premium collection boxes coming out again for another run. So this will be the third run. I don't know if you've purchased them before, if you can get them, because of the fact that we have the limit on the membership. So the limit on the membership might prevent you from buying more. But we're going to try. Green emoji, the surprise boxes were all I opened and was out of Prismatic. Yeah. So far, I've opened those, and I opened a binder collection because I wanted the binder. So I opened one binder collection, and I opened a couple of the mystery packs. I think total, I've opened 20 packs of Prismatic. I think we opened one 6-pack bundle as well. My wife bought it for my birthday. So I've had one 6-pack bundle, I've had one binder collection, and I've had like 2 of the surprise boxes I opened. Because I got the Flareon in the second one, and I stopped. So I got my Flareon. So I'm good. I'm good with my Flareon. That's what I was looking for. Far Out Genetics, the gas station by our house are selling evolving. What? Oh yeah, was selling for $3.99. Yeah, they were. They were $3.99 a pack. Grocery stores had them. I got a bunch of Evolving Skies sleeve blisters from a grocery store nearby. They were on the end cap, and you could buy. They had a whole end cap full of them. So you could go buy them for $3.99 right from the grocery store. So yeah, our hardware store sold them too. There was Evolving Skies sleeve blisters available all over the place, but Evolving Skies got released right during that dumping. So there was so much product that you could have chose between Battle Styles, Chilling Rain, Evolving Skies, Fusion Strike, Celebrations was happening right then. there was just so much product coming out right there that they were available, and it gave people a taste for it. So they did get a chance to call it, evolving cries, but in general is that it was open. A lot of people took a chance, and a lot of people had some feelings in that set. A lot of people were able to pull alternate arts and enjoy the set in general and just give it a shot, which gives them a reason to come back and buy it later. Why? They're willing to pay more money, kind of like a lot of us that are OGs. Most people, I've talked to people at card shows that are new to the hobby. They don't want to pay, they won't pay $600 for a base set booster pack. They won't. They don't want to go through it because they never opened it. They weren't involved with it. But for myself, I pay $600 for a base set booster pack. I've done it. I've got some because of it. I would probably even open it at that price, or at least I'd buy the packs to have them. I've done that. So the fact is that because I have nostalgia with that pack and I have nostalgia with that product, it has a tendency for me to be willing to spend more money to get that product back because I enjoyed it. It's something I remembered. Evolving Skies has that. Prismatic is going to lose that if it continues to get bought up by these investor bros. We're going to need a panic to really cause people to panic sell it and get it out of the market, get it back in the market at an affordable price. So it'll be interesting to see if it happens, if we continue to get, maybe we start pushing this market down with some ME, the change in the atmosphere, the megas coming back will maybe push the market down a little bit. And by pushing that market down a little bit, that'll give us the opportunity to maybe get a huge, massive reprint at that point in time, perfect storm scenario, and make people panic sell because, oh my God, the sky's falling, so we need to get out. That could occur, and if that does occur, then that could definitely be a factor to why all these situations, why Prismatic might actually be come down in price. Now, I'm not saying it's happening. This is all hypothetical. I'm not saying that this is actually a realistic way of doing it. I just telling you that there is an opportunity for that to happen, and it's definitely something that could occur and cause that situation in the market. So we are at 5-minute mark, guys, just so everybody is aware. Thank you so much, Casper, for putting that up there. Greatly appreciated for you putting that in there. We also have Cornell Thompson putting that up there. Gotta go. Welcome on in. Oh, Pokey Grinder. Right as we're leaving, Pokey Grinder. So much to see you in here, though. Make sure you join us at 9. 9 o'clock we start up, but today we would normally go later. Tonight with the release on Sam's Club again, I try and get everybody out of here. So we're going to get everybody out of here. That way you can jump in on the Sam's Club account and get your opportunity at those, the Lucario Tyranitar Lucario Premium Collection boxes. Hopefully you guys have some good luck. Let me know in Discord. Join the Discord. Let me know if you have some luck. Hopefully we will talk to you there. We've had some good conversations, and Discord's been moving a little bit, which is great. We're having some good talks. So come join us on Discord. Throw up your conversations. Join the conversations. Let's have some fun. Otherwise, make sure you guys hit the like button before you leave. And make sure you come join us on Friday, 9 p.m. Central Time, and Sunday, 9 p.m. or Thursday, 9 p.m. Central Time. We're changing it this week. Thursday, 9 p.m. Central Time for our Rip and Ship, and Sunday, 9 p.m. Central Time for our Rip and Ships. Otherwise, peace out, everybody. Have fun. Good luck. Be safe. And hopefully we'll see you next time here on Northwoods TCG.